Welcome to week 1 of the NFL preseason, where the rookies of today hope to become the stars of tomorrow. It's the Texans and the Steelers, next on EA Sports.
Well, the weather not fully cooperating here in Pittsburgh, but that has not stopped Steeler Nation from filling the stands at a rain-soaked Acrisure Stadium. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and we finally made it, partner, through the winter, through the spring, now into the summer, and football finally back.
And during that time off, we all cherish our vacation time. But admit it, you're the same as me. When you were working out, when you were doing things, you thought about football, didn't you? And you couldn't wait to be back up here again.
So here's Kaimi Fairbairn to do the honors. And we are underway from Pittsburgh. And all in all, a pretty solid return. Nearly got it to the 35. They'll mark him down officially at the 34. So the Steelers make their way out, led by their fourth-year quarterback, picked up in the offseason from the Chicago Bears, Justin Fields.
And while things obviously didn't pan out in Chicago, he told us the other day that he's looking forward to making the most of this next opportunity. Let's not forget, Fields is one of the few quarterbacks in NFL history to rush for over 1,000 yards in a season. So his struggles certainly have been from a lack of talent, but for him to make the next step, he has become as productive with his arm as he is with his legs.
And he is out of bounds inside the 35. That one good for 33 and a first. Right off the bat, a chunk play into enemy territory.
And I don't care how you plan for it. I don't care what you see on tape where you think you can get that type of a play. That's still a great rush and a little bit of a surprise to break off a run like that this early in the game.
And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Najee Harris, 33 yards. And the Steelers need just 2 plays on their opening drive to take the early lead. Well, if they didn't get the wake-up call before the game, they got it right now. 2 plays already in the end zone.
I think of it in boxing terms because whether it's a big shot with your first one or a probing one, a little bit of a jab, the second one was the payoff. That was the big one that landed. 1-2, end zone.
Seven 0 is our score, ready for the dynamic kickoff as this one's away. And this ball is not going to get to the 20, so this is going to be whistled dead, and the ball's going to be placed up at the 40-yard line. And that flag accepted. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at the 40. Stroud sets up the play action. That one complete. It's Tank Dell. And he's brought down. That play going for 16 yards to start the drive. First down. Stroud looking to throw. And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going down. T.J. Watt, the All-Pro, in there to take him down.
Pressure can come from all over when you're plotting a defensive strategy. On that particular play, it just came from the outside.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. Escaping and the pressure gets to him again. Cole Holcomb proving too much there for the offensive line. He gets the sack. First and 2nd down were a disaster. Both went backwards. Now it's 3rd and 18. They need something big. Throwing now is Stroud. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. T.J. Watt. That's now back-to-back sacks, and it brings up 4th down. And that is the third sack this offensive line has allowed this first quarter.
Man, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game, I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center. On is the punter, Townsend, as he gets this one away. This is taken at the 23. They'll call this a 41-yard punt, 7 on the return. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. So Pittsburgh retakes the field for their second offensive possession. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10.
Here we go, Zach.
Here's Fields. Flush to his right. That's down the field and caught by Freiermuth. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. A big gainer there on the catch and run, 37 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory, down at the 33. On play action, Fields. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a 1st down. Well done. And between the last 2 plays, they've moved it over half the length of the football field.
Well, as a coach, you absolutely love seeing your offense find their rhythm early, and that's exactly what we've seen so far. They had a touchdown on their opening drive, and now they connect here for another nice gain for a 1st down. This offense is moving the ball well, exactly as he drew it up in practice.
And caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. Pat Freiermuth. A 15-yard touchdown grab. And the Steelers are off to a 13-0 first quarter lead. Another impressive drive, so they're 2 for 2, 2 touchdowns. Charles, a great start to this ball game for them.
And one of the words that's really worked its way into our lexicon is stacking. They've stacked momentum each time out, not only on offense. Between those touchdowns, defense held, forced a punt to get the ball back, and they've played awfully well in this one. Both sides playing at optimum level.
The point after through the raindrops, up and good. And that'll make the score 14-0. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. So now we get set to see Houston for their second drive of the ball game. They've been outplayed early, no question. Down 14-0 already as they come up 1st and 10. A first carry here for Joe Mixon. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down. 2nd down in the yard. Now Stroud. Forced out to his, and he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. That's Cameron Hayward who got in there to take him down. A tough spot here. 3rd and 15. Stroud to throw it. Eluding the press, and he's going to go down again. T.J. Watt in there to get him yet again. That is his 3rd sack tonight. They can't figure him out.
He continues, Charles, to be under constant pressure. And these sacks, they're starting to pile up.
And if they want to have a realistic chance in this one, they've got to change their blocking assignments. They've got to do a better job to keep him upright. If he's going to be on the deck constantly, they've got no chance to win this game.
Here's Tommy Townsend now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And he'll take it on this side of midfield. They call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And this offense will take over right at the midfield stripe with a 1st and 10. And the Steelers set to take the field. Well, this offense looks like they have a little extra pep in their step as they take the field here for drive number 3. Because remember, Charles, drives 1 and 2 both ended in the end zone.
Yeah, and right now they've just got to be careful not to lean into overconfidence because every drive has a life of its own. But I like the way that they've started, the way that they're going about doing things right now. They've got a chance for that 3rd consecutive touchdown, and that would be a crushing blow to the defense.
And he goes across midfield and down into Houston territory. They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the first down. 3rd down, here's Patterson. Well, they nearly sprung him that time as he takes this all the way down to the 37. They picked up 5 yards last time. Now they double it and get 10 here. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Second quarter action from Pittsburgh. It is the Steelers in control of the football as they've got it with a 1st and 10. First throw now for the backup Allen. Flushed out right. That is caught by Callaway. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. That goes for a gain of 31.
Well, my dad would say sometimes, I'm just scratching my head here trying to figure out what was going on there defensively. How did you lose him in the middle of the field? If you're going to lose a receiver, make sure it's someone on the short side of things, not deep downfield, that can hurt your defense.
Now a chance to make that big play really hurt. It's 1st and goal just outside the 5. Allen going to throw. Rolling to his right. Got his man. It's caught for a Steelers touchdown. Scotty Miller from 6 yards away. And the Steelers have moved out in front by 3 touchdowns. So, Charles, that's 3 touchdowns on 3 drives, and it's just been an offensive barrage so far.
Great word, partner, using barrage right there. I'm going to add another word if you don't mind. How about perfection? No surprise that they're leading right now. Absolute dominance throughout this ball game, and no signs of slowing down.
Extra point now by Boswell. And it is now 21-0. 5 plays there on that drive. And it was concluded on the touchdown pass to Scotty Miller. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here.
Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense has going to Woods, but that pass is intercepted. Picked up by DeMonte Casey. And to the 43, so down inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. That's where they'll take over. Well, we've seen a lot of mistakes here in this first half, and another there on the interception.
Yeah, they're certainly starting to pile up, aren't they? Because, let's face it, we expect a miscue here and there, but they're already down 3 scores and still giving the ball away. If they want to get back into this one, they've got to take care of the ball because right now the way they're playing doesn't say a whole lot for their chances.
First and 10, it's Patterson. The 20. He'll head out of bounds inside the 10. Mark it down at the 9. 49 yards rushing for him now in just his first 3 carries.
And having built that kind of a lead, they're able to do whatever they want right now. All momentum on their side, especially now running the football.
Yeah, you're talking about a defense being on their toes. They don't know what's going to hit them next at this point.
No, they went from toes to heels, and they're trying to figure out how to get back.
And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. Cordero Patterson, a 9-yard touchdown run. And the Steelers continue to pull away here this first half. So a toss play there does the trick as he's into the end zone.
And you don't run this unless you're sure you've got a guy who has the speed who can get to the edge, because what you're hoping for him to win the race to the corner and turn it upfield to the end zone.
Boswell good with the extra point, and that makes the score 28-0. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. The Texans offense set to regain possession. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back, but make sure you're selective in doing so.
Mills hit, and he loses the ball. Oh, one of the linebackers has got it, and they will set up shop with outstanding field position in the red zone at the 17-yard line. And a defensive-minded coach loves to turn up the heat, turns it up there, it pays off.
And back in the good old days, those defensive-minded coaches just talked about intimidating teams, using force, right, beating them to the punch. In this case, they're talking about creating turnovers. That's all they preach, all game long, all practice long, every meeting. Get the football. That's what they want.
Check that.
On the toss, it's Patterson. Oh, leaves him behind on the spin. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. Cordero Patterson ready for the regular season with his second touchdown of the game. And the Steelers are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. So this now 34-0 with the extra point pending. And Charles, I thought these guys might have the advantage coming in, but I didn't expect this.
Well, I'm glad we're going with full transparency here, because I didn't either. I thought we might be looking at a 24-20 type game, maybe 13-10 at the half. But this has been total, utter domination.
Here's a toss coming right. And he will dive into the end zone, and the two-point conversion is successful. They get the conversion, and Charles, when you only have 2 yards to go, what do you think of the toss play? Because initially it kind of set you back a little bit.
It does, especially if you get a lot of pressure coming towards you. But if you can get to the edge, if you seal the edge with your blocking, often your tackle or your tight end on what they call the play side where the ball goes, you can get to the corner, and that allows those big guys to get out ahead of the runner.
Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. Houston set to take over. It hasn't gone particularly well for them. That's obvious. In these conditions, no points so far. They've got to get that offense on track. The question, how do they do it?
It is the age-old question, isn't it? And to me, finding a way to make sure your playmakers touch the ball without it being too exotic. Meaning you don't have to go deep down the field. Maybe you hit them on those short passes on the perimeter. Make sure you just turn around and hand it to your best runner and get out of the way. Don't cause any extra stress on your offense.
Now a 3rd and 6. Mills. And that will be incomplete.
As a corner, you have to be able to run with guys step for step downfield of man coverage and make up ground quickly in zone. You have to put yourself in position to make plays just like that one we saw there.
Fielded just inside the 20. They'll net only 35 here following a 43-yard boot, 8-yard return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The Steelers offense and their running back getting set to go once more. And as a play caller, when you've got a guy who's running like this, you lean on him and your offensive line. He's had big hole after big hole to run through in this first half. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him, because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? He said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 44-yard line. Here's Allen to throw it. Escaping the pressure right. Completes this to Callaway over on the right side. And he takes it all the way down to the 3. A big play that time for Pittsburgh. 41 yards.
And this is one of the toughest parts about being a defensive back. When a play breaks down like this, you're talking plaster to a receiver. Find the nearest one and adhere yourself to him. But you can only stay with the receiver so long if the play continues to develop. He knows where he's going. You do not.
After the big play, a chance to finish now on 1st and goal. Allen. Flush to his right. And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. Kyle Allen, a 3-yard touchdown run. And the Steelers have taken a 6-touchdown lead.
What an effort there. Sometimes you hold your breath a bit when you see your quarterback diving for the end zone. You don't want him to land on a shoulder wrong or take a big shot. But he looks none the worse for wear here, and that winds up a touchdown.
Extra point put through by Boswell. And a rout is on here in this first half. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And a nifty return there all the way across the 40. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And this not an easy situation. You're down early, in the elements, you're on the road. How do you get the mojo back?
Well, one thing is to remember that as an offensive player, you have a much better idea of what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to go than the defender. So in this case, because you know it, you can make your cuts with a little more decisiveness. Maybe a second fake, some double moves, things of that nature to go ahead and try and put some pressure on the defense.
Oh, everything falling apart now. Another one intercepted. Picked off by DeMonte Casey. And he brings this one back. It's a pick 6 for a Steeler touchdown. I cannot imagine a more perfect half of football for one side, CD, and a more disastrous half of football for another side. But if you focus on the positive half, with this pick 6, you look at where that lead is at, and to think that we are only in the second quarter, my goodness.
I love the expression, my goodness indeed. Pretty obvious. It's a free fall out there. Everybody gets a chance to make a play. If you're on the field, you've got a great chance of being the next guy that your teammates are celebrating.
Boswell good with the extra point, and a rout is on here in this first half. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape, up past the 30. And that pick 6 just a moment ago. Things went from bad to worse. Look up at the scoreboard now. Not looking good here. We'll see if they can put something together on this drive. 1st and 10. To the right, and Skoranek is there. Touchdown, Houston. Ben Skoranek, 69 yards. And the Texans are on the board here in the final minute of the first half.
Yeah, you heard it, right?
Exhale.
You heard the exhale, and I'm taking that from their bench because finally, right before the half, they find a way to get the ball in the end zone and get some points on the board. maybe they can use that to kickstart them for the second half.
Yeah, just to get something before going into the lockers. And now in the second half, they can just tighten.
It's what they want to do, tighten down everything they're doing, and it maybe explode at the right time.
Oh, a dangerous return man showing it here. And all in all, a pretty solid return. Nearly got it to the 35. They'll mark him down officially at the 34. The Steelers offense and their big play wideout getting ready to get back to work. And seemingly every time they've looked his way in this first half, it has resulted in a big play, as borne out by the numbers. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And with a little under a minute to go, still time to try to put a drive together to add to their lead should they so choose. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 87 yards for him on the ground so far tonight, as he has been terrific in this first half. On first down, going back to Patterson. And he goes across midfield and down into Houston territory. Neville Hewitt on the stop. Here's a 2nd and 5. Again, Patterson. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. So we have reached halftime in our first preseason matchup of the year. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thank you very much. Back to you guys in just a minute as we've started the countdown to opening night. Remember, the preseason has shrunk from 4 games down to 3. So just 2 more weeks of preseason action follow this, and then we get it all started on the first Thursday after Labor Day. In our game, most of the starters have made their cameo and departed, but plenty of youngsters out there with a lot to gain or lose as we get you right back out to Brandon Gott. Most of the starters are likely done. These coaching staffs getting ready to evaluate the youngsters in the second half. And to call the remainder of this preseason opener, we go back to Brandon Gott.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always to you and the gang in Orlando as we welcome everyone back in for quarter number 3. Probably not likely to see many starters in the second half as we get back at it underway in this preseason opener. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. The Texans offense and their quarterback headed out for this next possession. And it's been a rough night at the office for him. He's been more of a liability than an asset throughout the contest. And this offense is having a hard time overcoming his struggles to this point. Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. And they have a mountainous deficit looming in front of them. It was really, Charles, a disaster of a first half. So where do they go from here?
The first thing they have to remember is that what's done is done, and there's no going back. And now you have to play this drive by drive. Obviously, come back in this spot, pretty unlikely. But you still have to go out, take pride in your work, and try and put something together here in the second half. You can just see it in their body language. They're starting to see victory on the horizon now, and if it comes to fruition, they got to give a game ball to the front 7. Defensive line has taken charge and controlled this game. Face a challenge of stopping this opposing offense, and they've done so with ease.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Mills. That's to the veteran. It's Robert Woods. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. 3rd down and 13. To throw, Mills. Being chased out left. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Mills able to make something out of it and pick up the first down with his legs. A run for Pierce out of the gun. And they'll get him down here at about the 42. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. They go play action. Mills. And that'll fall incomplete. He was hit just as he let that go. And now it's 3rd down. coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. Here's Mills. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down. The Texans send the punter out as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. And this will be up to the ruling of the side judge here. He says it crossed out of bounds at the 16-yard line. The Steelers offense and their running back getting ready to go back to work. And as we roll through some of the highlights, we see how crucial he's been to their success in this one. When he's in this type of a groove and his offensive linemen are creating running lanes for him, he can really put on a show, and he's done so here. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive.
Let's go. Bring it. Hut, hut.
On play action, Allen. That's taken in by Callaway. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. It's a gain of 35.
They made that way too easy for them. No one is supposed to be that open against an NFL defense. Once he caught the ball, there wasn't anybody close enough to stop him. And he was able to continue downfield after making the catch.
So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 49-yard line. Now Allen. He'll buy some time right. On the run, he'll let this go deep right side. And a penalty flag comes in as that one winds up incomplete. But the contact is going to move the ball well downfield. They frustrated these receivers tonight, really held down the passing game, but there got the penalty.
Fine line between aggressive, good coverage, and interference, and they crossed it on that play.
Buying time to his left. A throw on the run, but that's going to be incomplete.
That was an interesting look there because as soon as he got outside the pocket, I thought he was going to take off and run for yardage. But what often happens now with these quarterbacks who can move, defenses want to try and keep bodies in front of them, and I think that discouraged him from taking off and made him try a pass downfield that fell incomplete.
And he's going to press this one forward as they stop him right around the 1. 108 yards for him on the ground now. He has been a tough man to bring down all night. 3rd and goal as they look to pour some more salt in the wound. He'll try again, and they'll run again. And he's in. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Cordero Patterson taking it in from a yard out. And the Steelers have now opened up a 7-touchdown lead. Unbelievable.
Well, this offensive line has really stepped up to the challenge here because those Mastodons, they've been sensational clearing holes all game long. And this is great work down here near the goal line to give their back the space he needs to work his way into the end zone.
Extra point put through by Boswell. And the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. And the football going back over now to the Houston Texans. And this group has suffered far too many self-inflicted wounds thus far as we run through some of the mistakes. It's darn near impossible to win in this league when you're turning the ball over at the frequency that they have. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
And every game that's ever been played, all coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one, after we saw that first turnover,
Mills hit, and he loses the ball. And it's picked up by the Steelers. And he takes it back to the house. A fumble recovery for a Steelers score. second time he's lost a fumble. This one hurts more. It's returned for 6.
He's been under a lot of duress, hasn't he? Pressured, hurried, harassed the whole game.
Well, the offensive line not giving him a lot of help.
Not a lot of help, but the bottom line, he's got to take care of the football.
Boswell for the extra point. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there. Grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. And now out comes Houston.
It's a game that they would rather probably forget about, at least to this point, Charles. And one reason is turnovers. A turnover on the last drive. They had the issue in the first half as well, and that's really, unfortunately for them, helped to put this game out of reach.
And you know they won't admit it to themselves, but we know that winning the game is pretty much out of the picture now. So their bottom line is, how do they play a clean game the rest of this one, right? Take care of the football, no more turnovers, and see how that works.
Firing in that time, it was Nick Herbig. Credit him with a sack. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And it's picked up by the Steelers. And did he get in? No. They'll mark him down at the 1-yard line.
Randy, that's the 3rd time he's fumbled so far in this game. And, you know, you can make excuses for each and every one of them. But the bottom line is, he's got to take care of it better. And now that he's shown a propensity for fumbling it, just think about what the defenders are trying to do.
Yeah, we've got pushing and fighting his way in for a Steeler touchdown. It's a 1-yard touchdown run. And the Steelers get another third-quarter touchdown to add on to that lead. So the toss play effective, even down here near the goal line.
Yeah, and you're hoping the defense commits too many men to stop the run in the middle of the field and that your blockers can gain a little bit of an advantage. And when they do, foot race to the pylon, and this time he had the speed to win that race.
Extra point now by Boswell. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. Well, they got the ball in great field position. One play later, boom, end zone. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. The Texans back out there and ready to go. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. Not much there. Maybe a couple up to the 35. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up. 3 quarters have come and gone. You're watching preseason football on EA Sports. Back now in Pittsburgh. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. The Texans on 3rd down. It's been a problem. Just 1 for 7 thus far. This is 3rd and 8.
Mills can't get away, and down he goes. The pressure from multiple guys there as they bury him for a big 9-yard loss.
Partner, my vocabulary isn't that great, but to me, there's only one word that fits this front 7 today, and that's dominant. 4 and 5 sacks is already rare in one game. Getting to more than 6 in one contest while winning by this many points, an absolutely astounding effort by every player involved.
The Texans send the punter out as he'll come on for his 5th kick of the night. That's pulled in at the 32. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. A tremendous return there, 39 yards. And the Steeler offense, they're set up nicely as they take over. 1st and 10, and kind of tipping their hand at running the ball. 3 tight ends are out there. Now run straight ahead with Warren. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. They'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage.
Out of the gun, a run with Patterson.
And he'll take this inside the 30 to about the 29, maybe the 28-yard line. After getting stuffed on 1st down, not much better there. 2-yard gain. At this stage of the game, with the score where it is, the key here is stay in bounds, and he did just that. Not by a huge margin, but he stayed in.
And those come up in what we like to call winning edge meetings. The things that you have to do, late game situations, kicking situations, doesn't matter what it is, the things you have to do to win a game, and that comes up in that meeting, then you practice it. They've got to be happy to see it executed, being able to stay in bounds and work the clock.
Allen going to go on 4th down, eluding the pressure right.
Pass taken in by his big tight end.
And he'll be out of bounds about a half to a full yard shy of the 5. Wow, 1st and goal, and defensively all they can do is shake their heads. Not only did they allow the conversion, but a big play as well.
Jefferson moving in motion left. He's going to get it on the jet sweep.
And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown.
Van Jefferson, a 6-yard touchdown run. And the Steelers add 6 more to their point total, and they're on cruise control right now here in the 4th.
Boswell for the extra point. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So that drive spanned 5 plays. And it's capped off by a touchdown run of 6 yards. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown.
And able to break this out all the way to the 38-yard line. Great return.
Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here.
And certainly this, not the performance that they were hoping for to begin the exhibition season, but still plenty to watch for in this 4th quarter. Over the middle, that's caught by Woods. Yeah, he'll work free from 1 tackle, but that's about all as he's taken down.
Now after the play, it looks like there's a Texan here slow to get up.
Well, injury's never good, especially here in the preseason. Hopefully nothing serious. They'll take a look at him, and we'll step aside for a moment. Now 2nd and 5. Mills now.
And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this 2nd half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
This one incomplete. Probably should have been picked. A little nonchalant with the throw to the safety valve, but it's 4th down.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. Yeah, he was looking for the checkup bounce, didn't get it. That scoots all the way into the end zone now for a touchback.
Beginning on the ground with Patterson.
Oh, he's got a little daylight. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35.
127 yards on the ground for him now as he has gotten better, really, as the night's gone on.
They run it with Pirine on first down. And space tough to come by there. So we get maybe a yard to the 37.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's third down. They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first. Allen from the gun on third down. He throws it on the move, but can't connect as that falls incomplete. The Charles are still airing it out at this point despite that huge lead. And some people may be saying, well, why are they throwing the football? These guys, I guess, are just padding their stats at this point.
Yeah, there are a lot of big grins, I think, from people in their families, from themselves. You're exactly right. Pad the stats when you get an opportunity. It'll certainly help you come contract time.
And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on fourth. Here's Allen. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. Mills to throw it. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds. That'll give him 8 that time. And that'll bring up a second down in just a couple.
And his play caller does a nice job of giving him an easy throw to start this drive, and he takes advantage of it. The completion sets up a manageable second down.
Into the hands of Skoranek. And the Texans are going to be set up with a first and goal here as the tackle made at the 9. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. They've got it first and goal as they look to punch in a late score. Now Mills. Throw left side complete. That's Woods. And he takes this down to about the 2 before going out of bounds. Good yardage on first down. Now can they punch it in on second and goal? From the gun, here's Mills. And somewhat of a measure of revenge as he's in for the touchdown, but they still trail big time.
He'll take it, but he won't be able to smile about it.
And CD, they just haven't had a whole lot to cheer about here, but it may be cliche, but give them credit for this. They've continued to fight and scratch and claw, and they get the touchdown here in the fourth quarter.
And I'm okay with that cliche, all right? Maybe it'll alleviate the sting a little bit because at least they can look in the mirror and realize they fought all the way through. Horrible game for them, not one they'll want to remember, but at least they'll keep their heads up and have some pride when they leave this stadium.
Uh-oh, flag comes out here. This is going to be roughing the kicker.
When you're going back there on the kick block, you've got to go to the right point. That didn't happen. Ran into the kicker. The penalty flag had to come out.
And no run back here. That's going to be a touchback, and we'll bring it out to the 30-yard line. And the offense returns to the field for their next possession, led by receiver Marquez Callaway. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this? But it's usually not by himself, is it?
Right.
Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
And he's got this one complete to Callaway. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 17 yards is the pickup there for number 17. Well, this one probably not the close game you would expect or hope to see in prime time, CD. But, of course, that wasn't their intent in preparing for this one. They said they felt like their offense was ready to put up some points. And, my goodness, it has been a dominant display in front of a national audience.
Yeah, they thought it, and it certainly came to fruition, didn't it? They've been dominant in so many ways in this one. If you weren't paying attention to this group before, you certainly are now after seeing this type of victory from them.
Flushed out right. To the right side and complete to Washington. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. 26 big yards on that one. It's another first down.
Well, nothing but praise from me for this offense. They have been tremendous all night long. They knew what they had to do to unlock the defense. And let's face it, this has been a master class in offensive football that we've been here to witness.
And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. So it's a high five for that one. His 5th rushing touchdown of the game as he draws ever nearer to potentially making a run at an NFL record. Extra point now by Boswell. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And a long run there in the end to top it off. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And they've got it up past the 35, so pretty good starting field position. And here comes the Texans now. Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
Pressure comes, and the Steelers take him down. Nick Herbig, his 2nd sack of the night.
Nightmare of a game continues for this quarterback, brought down with the game already decided. This sack ends insult to injury for him. Multiple turnovers, down by multiple touchdowns. Now done early in the drive.
Under pressure, they got him again.
The pressure from multiple guys there as they bury him for a big 9-yard loss. And as this defense walks off the field, they can do so with their heads held high. What a performance. Well, by the offense, too. I mean, really, Charles, just complete domination on both sides of the football here in this one.
Certainly was, and I think both sides compete against each other all the time. You go at each other in practice, obviously your training camps, your off-season. But on game day, you both want to show your best. And I think that's what we saw from both the offense and the defense, a complete team victory.
So that'll do it for my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports.
The Steelers earn the win at home as we say so long from Pittsburgh.